Hello, hello, hello. What's up? What's goody and what's poppin'? This is your girl speaking on all things personal development, speaking on, what's on my mind and speaking what's on my heart and more so speaking on what's on my chest, right? And speaking with my full chest and just trying to come on here and not only, provide support and advice and guidance, but also seeking as well and being fully transparent in, all the things that I've ever experienced, as well as things that I've navigated and trying to offer, tools as well as resources and even speaking to that little voice in your head that speaks to you, right? But trying to highlight that little voice in your head and let you know that you're not crazy and it's not in your head and you actually have all the given knowledge and divine answers and your truths and solution oriented approaches already deeply embedded within you, right? Given from you know who and whatnot, most high. But yeah, it's your girl Naughty. This is my first video. I'm a little nervous, but I'm also really excited because I've been wanting to actually make a YouTube channel for a really long time now and be consistent in making a YouTube channel for a really long time now. This is not my first YouTube channel. I have made one before, but it was very like fashion and arts and culture and lifestyle focused back when I was in undergrad and whatnot, when I was in college. And it was cute. It was fun. Your girl made lookbooks and stuff like that and did styling and did vintage thrift hauls and all that type of jazz. But I realized that not only I felt like that content was already very expansive as far as the creators on here that are already making content like that. Not saying that, that content is still not needed and I still don't watch it myself personally and I have my faves that I enjoy, but it was not my calling. I'm always going to love arts, culture, and fashion and expressing myself as a New Yorker, all right, as a city girl and not the type of city girl that you may think. No, I'm born and raised in the city, in the Big Apple and whatnot. So those will always be my things, right? Being a fine arts, major and graduate and stuff like that. But I realized that my calling is definitely to come on here and provide testimony on my life's experiences and be able to not only to share them with you guys, but to also share them as not only video memories for myself, but to also connect and, provide advice and at least tools that I used when I was when I finally started listening to my inner voice and really getting into the nitty gritties of personal development and just finding yourself and being really true to yourself and authentic, right? And finding your power, more so finding your power. I want to say that today I really want to speak on finding your power and how important it is to stand in your power, be aware of how powerful you truthfully are as not only the human being that you show up as here today, but as, God's divine child and creature on this land that deserves not only love, respect, but a way for you to voice your individuality and stand up for yourself, right? So today's first video will be on your divine power and how you and 10 ways in which you know that you're powerful, right? You know that you stand in your power, you know that you own your power and you're not giving and selling and offering it to nobody else, right? But for you and your efforts and only providing power or showing people their own power as well when you know that it is a each one teach one type situation, right? Like you're leading the horse to water and hoping that they drink. That old saying, right? I know somebody out here knows that saying. But yeah, so a little bit of background. There was a time in my life where I wasn't aware of my power, as a lot of us are, right? Like we're not born into that. We have to learn it and go through life's trials and trumps and really figure out a way for us to find our voice and find a non-egotistical and ethical and loving and God-fearing way of voicing what it is our power is, right? And I'm not saying power as far as in a form of control. I mean power as far as in a form of showing up fully and authentically as who you are. So not that long ago, but long ago, long enough, there was a point in my life where, as I said again, I didn't see myself as powerful at all. I didn't see myself as a strong individual that can pull themselves up out of any situation. I didn't see myself as somebody that even had the confidence to even talk or discuss with people whenever I felt like I was done wrong or whenever I felt like something wasn't right or whenever I felt like, was being, led astray. My power was, and they would teach me and provide me with the guidance and, developing up the confidence that I needed, the acknowledgement and empathy and the tools that I needed in order to be my best self, let alone not knowing that those things are deeply embedded within me. God already gave me with everything that I needed. I just needed to actually like shut up and be quiet and listen like to my spirit, to him, to the signs of, no, you have everything that you need. You just need to take the time out to access it, right? And stand fully in that power. There were people that I've encountered along my life where, they took an advantage of me and they weren't at all in good faith or good nature. They actually saw how powerful I was before I saw it, and they decided to steal my light and try to harvest it and use it for themselves. And it was really, really bad because I felt myself being led down a really dark hole of just uncertainty and insecurity and confusion and just darkness, to a point where I almost didn't know who I was and I almost lost myself, right? And it took some time for me to like bounce back and get to where I needed to get to. This has happened several times in my life. This has happened where, since I was a child, I was told that I wouldn't amount to anything. I was told that I was going to be a product of my environment, coming from a poverty-stricken upbringing, and then also coming from a family of mental illnesses that went undiagnosed or went untreated or really just acknowledged at all, right? I was always told to be small and be quiet and not to say much, even if you didn't fit into that box. Because you are an adolescent, you're not going to, you can't do anything. Like, you have to always go by whatever your parent says, of course. Even if you know that they're wrong, unfortunately, you got to go by it in order to just kind of survive until you're of age and you can kind of live the life that and seek fit, that is safe and sustainable and morally unsound, right? Whatever your morals are, of course. So as a child, that persisted, constantly being talked down on. Unfortunately, there was abuse, physically, mentally, neglect, and a lot of manipulation that went on with that, especially, being manipulated by, caregivers, parents, if you will, that just don't know any better and they think their way is the right way. And whenever you do stand up for yourself, instead of being seen as self advocacy, knowing, okay, this is right from wrong. This is what I see other family members or my friends, or whenever I'm in church, they tell me, things like this and whatnot, and I can't be right. So that starting off when I was an adolescent to me becoming a teenager and me realizing that, having certain friends and certain friend circles that I outgrew very frequently, because I was always the type of individual to outgrow my social circles so quickly, to the point where it would make individuals think around me that I was better than them. But that was not the case at all. I'm not better than anybody. I'm not here to judge. Like, only God is here to judge. I just feel like I don't resonate with whatever, festivities or whatever character or morale is currently going on right now. And, me taking my power back from those social circles, even as a teenager, adolescent to teenager, seeing me standing in my authenticity as something negative, unfortunately, because it goes against the social norms of trying to cluster and click up in groups. Back in high school, we know how high school is and whatnot. Everybody likes to click up in their groups, and everybody likes to, always be of some type of like niche or aesthetic, we call it now, it crowd. And I just never cared. I always cared to be solo dolo. And then that led me to finding, eventually, thankfully, my own little soul tribe. I hope y'all are doing well and whatnot. That last little group of girlfriends that I met my junior and senior year of high school. But yeah, I constantly was being ridiculed by staff, school faculty, teachers, my peers, other students and whatnot alike, and being ostracized and bullied for it, right? And then later on as an adult, realizing like, oh, okay, like I don't see things in the same perspective as my peers, and I am very outspoken. I wouldn't say loud, right? I wouldn't say angry either, right? Not that stereotype, but outspoken. Whenever I seen something that was unjust with me, instead of being quiet about it from an adolescent, I knew now, okay, I'm an adult, I can move as I please and I can voice concerns as I please without the authority of anyone above me, right? And that being seen as, an unpopular way to go about life and whatnot. And I promise you I wasn't problematic, but as an adult growing up, I was able to, peep evil from afar and try to separate myself from it. And people try to bring me back into that negativity and try to use my light, ostracize my light, but then use my light in order to make themselves feel better. And then within the same breath, beat me down for trying to want better for myself and therefore people around me, and therefore, maybe them, maybe that person being the closest person around me. Unfortunately, as an adult, as a young adult at that time, that led me to becoming homeless and losing everything that I own, because I happened to end up dealing with a person that was soul sucking, was aware of my power, didn't want me to be aware of my own power, or else I would even be associating with them, right? And this was in a romantic relationship. And that person manipulating me into leaving everything that I had at that time, me having my own full-time job, right? That I was very, very excited about. I started off as a community gardener, and then I became a education and agriculture educator, right? Which was really fun, especially in New York, for me to say that, yeah, I'm a garden educator, I'm a farm educator, right? Because there were chickens on that little farm. And people being like, what, girl, you live in New York? Like, what farm? You live in New York City. Like, what farm and whatnot? I was really proud about doing that type of work. And it was really, satisfying and it called to my soul, basically, right? And that not really being looked at as something of any importance towards that person as my ex significant other and whatnot. And I had my own apartment, and I was planning on going back to school to get a graduate degree and get my board license in special education and teaching, because that was something that was very important to me, especially at somebody growing up with parental figures that dealt with special needs and were mentally disabled and whatnot. And me doing very well for myself despite all the adversity that I had overcome, right? And that person seeing that and being like, oh my God, like she thinks that she's all that, like she thinks that she's better than me, she's gonna leave me for somebody that's better than me, and them being insecure and not standing in their own power for themselves, but seeing me do it for myself, and seeing that I started to separate myself from them because I started noticing and peeping game, but them using manipulative tactics to bring me back in. Next thing you know, I end up letting them manipulate me into thinking that I had no power, that everything that I had worked for was all materialistic and had no type of specialty and no type of gain or significance towards my development. And really, I just needed to, dim my light and give it to them, essentially, and kind of just give up my apartment, give up my job, move in with them, and drop everything, which was not, I know wasn't smart. So I don't need anybody in the comments like, why would you give up everything, girl, that you worked so hard for, with all the adversity that you had overcome and people coming for you left and right growing up, you seeming like a very confident person and trying to, grow into yourself and accept that confidence and develop it even more and have it stand on foundational grounds as you go through life, and just time goes by and whatnot. And me not me noticing that and starting to grow into myself as a grown woman and then giving it away so quickly. Why would you do that? Manipulation, my friend, gaslighting, my friend, mental tactics, right? That I have never endured to that extreme and that certainty in my life, and that person actually stalking and harassing me. But that's a conversation for another day. We'll get into that another time. This will not be my last video. And I have a whole bunch of stories and stuff like that. As you can see, I'm loaded with them. But yeah, so me giving up everything that I own, right? Fast forwarding, I'm living with this person. I'm fully reliant and dependent on them. I realized that I made a huge mistake giving up my autonomy and giving up I hope I said that right, giving up my leisure and my career, and even leaving the neighborhood that I lived in, and even abandoning some family members for this person because they were trying to lead me astray and whatnot, so that way they can control me. And I had to quickly and swiftly peep game, as my folks would say, and dip out. So I want to say a few months into the relationship, I was able to realize that this was very toxic and very abusive. And I was able to not only pray on it, meditate, spend some time with myself, and do a lot of self-discovery and research, and apply the 10 things that I'm going to let you know in a second on how you know that you're truthfully powerful, right? And how you know that no matter what life throws at you, even when you lose it all, you can gain it back with these 10 things. Okay, keeping these 10 things on mind, these 10 tips, if you will, on how you know that you are truthfully powerful. Because when I channeled these 10 things, right, these 10 tips, and I kept them in mind and I practiced them and I studied them, whether it was through affirmations, whether it was through me praying, right, taking long walks in nature. Do not underestimate nature, because it is very, very, very healing. There are plants around me for a reason, okay? They don't just keep the energy clean in here, they also keep me grounded. But yeah, me utilizing these 10 facts and tricks to not only, these 10 tips, I want to say, right, because I'm giving you so many different words for it, these 10 tips to really figure out and know, like, okay, now I have everything that I need already divinely embedded in me from Jesus Christ himself, and I don't need no man, and I don't need no dark voices in my head to tell me otherwise. And I was able to get back on my feet within 6 months timing, get a new job, a higher paying job, because I deserve that, right? Move into my own apartment, right? Where I am now in a skyrise condo, downtown in a whole entire different city, right? For my safety and for my sanity. And I was also able to strong relationship with myself and honestly not care no matter what, and saying it with my chest that I am powerful and I have all the power within me, blessed by God himself. Jesus Christ walks with me and I walk with him, okay? And I will never ever, I am never alone and I will never be without, and I always have everything that I need within me, and I don't need to rely on anybody for it, right? So let's get to it. That was a little bit of my backstory and whatnot on me finding my power, because it was definitely not a walk in the park. But I have some notes here on how I truthfully was able to step into my power and really, really indulge into this transformative experience within 6 months timing. One was my self-awareness, right? I'm a very, very self-aware person. And if you are as well, how you know you're a very self-aware person is you have a really deep understanding of yourself, your strengths, your weaknesses, okay, right? Your values, your morals, your beliefs, and you're very in tuned with your emotions, right? Do not see that as something that is lagging. Don't see that as something that is not as important and significant as it is, because people that are not self-aware of themselves are people that usually go through life stumbling throughout it and usually don't know when to read the room and figure themselves out and apply themselves better in life, right? And know and have direction. So self-awareness is tip number one on how you know that you're very powerful. You are aware and in tune with your emotions, your strengths, your beliefs, your values, and your weaknesses, right? Because whatever weakness you have, that's somebody else's strength, right? And there's only strength in numbers. Okay. Two, I would say confidence. Confidence is honestly a really key indicator of you being personally powered. And when I mean, I ain't talking about that. Okay. I'm not talking about your Chanel bag. I'm not talking about your Gucci shades. And I am damn sure not talking about that mani petty and the bust down lace front, even though all those things are very, very nice and I ain't shunning them. However, confidence really is built within yourself, and it really is a way for you to have the abilities and the belief that you can achieve your goals, right? No matter any means necessary, and again, with God on your side. So confidence from within, not exterior confidence. Two, that was two, confidence. Three, authenticity, right? Being authentically you and showing up 1,000% as yourself, no matter what. When you show up authentically as you and as yourself, and you don't care what anybody thinks about you, that is a strong sign that you are powerful or you are coming into your power. Okay. And being honest with people, right? When you're authentic, you are brutally honest, authentically honest, I guess what softly honest, it would not in yourself. And you essentially just know, like, okay, like no matter what, I'm gonna be me. I'm gonna wear my hair like this because I like it like this, and I'm gonna show up like this. I'm going to speak in this tone. I'm going to put on that blazer, or put on that t-shirt, and I'm gonna show up 1,000% as me, right? You're not here to accept it. Okay. But if you can show up authentically as you, that's how you know that you're also very powerful. That is point 3. 4, your impact. You truthfully do have an impact on other individuals, and your essence, your aura is felt when you walk into the room, and people either respect it or people know to give you enough space to be respected, right? So yes. 5, I would say, is resiliency. Being resilient, right, is another really key indicator of you being personally powerful. I know, speaking, on it earlier, I had to be very, very resilient in my whole entire upbringing from probably birth till now, and not letting anything kind of get in my way and stopping me and telling me what I was going to do, or what I wasn't going to do, or telling people, or when people kind of try to tell you about yourself and whatnot. Yeah, no, that if resilience is key, and knowing that even though it's rough today, it will get better tomorrow, right? And you, again, have everything that you need within you in order to achieve your nirvana, your peace, your calm, all right? 6, empathy is a very strong sign of emotional intelligence, actually. And it really does show that you really are truthfully powerful when you can connect with other people's feelings and also express yours in a very vulnerable way, because it also shows that not only are you showing up authentically, confidently, and you're yourself, right? But also you're aware of how people feel around you, whether that is just by your aura alone or by something that you said, or maybe something that they've experienced in their past. Just being empathetic enough alone to not sympathize with them, but to know where they're coming from and be in their own shoes without, developing a Stockholm syndrome, or without overly identifying with them, but allowing them the space to be themselves, right? And people feeling that through your aura. I would say another tip is you being 7 will be purposeful, right? You find a sense of purpose and direction in your life, and you actually know what you want and where you're going in life, right? You being very purposeful. and sharing your purpose with an individual, not showing your whole hand and your whole card. No one's saying to do that. Don't do that. Okay. All right. Wait for things to actually happen so that way people don't prey on your downfall and that way your blessings are divinely protected. However, when you are purposeful and you are aware of where you're going in life, where you're at right now, where you're going currently, and where you see yourself in the next 5 to 10 years, that shows that you are very powerful because you cannot be stopped. That was 7, right? Y'all are like, ooh, she talked real fast and whatnot. I'm trying to make sure that this video is not too long. I'm gonna chop her up. But yeah, courage. You are very courageous, okay? It is an essential part of being powerful. And you also are really honestly willing to take risks, calculated risk, okay? But you're willing to take risks, right? And you're willing to really make sure that you are willing to step outside your comfort zone in order to pursue your goals, right? In the pursuit of your goals. And I had to kind of channel that, especially when I was leaving my ex's home in the middle of the night for nothing, and knowing that I was starting from scratch because I had given up everything that I had, and realizing that I had the courage, the resilience, and the purpose in life to achieve what I really need to achieve and to not ever get distracted like that ever again. And again, not give away my power. That's how I knew that I was stepping within my divine power and I was acknowledging it, right? As God would want me to. And having a positive impact. Number 9 would be you have a positive impact on individuals, right? Not only do you breathe life into them, but you also make sure that you stir them in a direction that you already see them going in, right? You're not telling them where to go, and you can't tell nobody to do nothing in this life. You could just hope that, again, you lead them to the water and they actually learn and know how to drink, and they know that the water is actually good for them. It's going to hydrate them and get them where they need to go. But you are a positive impact on people's lives. They look up to you, not down on you, right? They pray for you, not prey on your downfall. And I would say lastly, how you know that you are truthfully powerful, right? And you are discovering your power, or you're stepping into your power, or you're fully acknowledging it, and you are that girl, you are powerful, and people feel your aura and they feel your power even from afar, is honestly your inner peace. You radiating some people, and you have to be careful who you radiate your light on, right? Because some individuals will see it and they will take it for themselves. And then they will try to call you crazy when you call them on it, right? It has happened in numerous parts of my life, numerous phases of my life, from adolescent to now. Okay? No matter if it is family, friends, or significant others, coworkers, colleagues, professors, whatever, right? You know you are truthfully powerful. Number 10, when you have inner peace and people who are around you know it and they feel how grounded you are and you feel like home. And you're actually always calm and assured of whatever you're doing and sure of yourself, to the point where honestly not much gets on you. So those are 10 facts, right, on how you know that you were divinely powerful. You're stepping into it, you're acknowledging it, and you are felt from afar, right? And if these are things that you know that you don't all have together, right, take notes on it. Try to channel it within yourself. Ask yourself why you don't see yourself as a powerful individual, or answer these. Why do you feel like you don't have any inner peace? Why you don't feel like you are empathetic enough and whatnot? And what are ways in which that you can build it? Right? But that is just my 10 cents on how you know that you are really powerful. And I really hope that I'm out here connecting with somebody. People are hearing what I have to say. And if you have any other tips on how you know you are truthfully powerful, or ways in which you can channel your inner power, please comment them down below. Like this video, wish me luck on my journey on content creation and overall trying to connect to the masses, and not only heal myself, but heal together as a whole. And yeah, that's about it. All right. I hope you have a wonderful, awesome, amazing day. You stay blessed, you stay protected, and you speak with your chest. You say it with your chest, and you show up to places authentically and humbly as yourself. I'm Nadi. Have a great one.